I always know this little boy needs to be watered because his bottom leaves start to act very sad. And I water thoroughly until I see it drip out of the bottom. I also check for any dead leaves that may need to be removed from the plant, like these little guys who are actually not even attached. And that's a fully watered plant. This is Orca. She has been giving me trouble. I got her on my birthday, and despite her looking very healthy, she had a lot of rotten roots that I had to cut out. And so we went in, and despite it still being in its blooming cycle, I just felt like the plant was getting weighed down by the dead leaves. So I went in and just removed anything that looked like it didn't want to be there anymore. The cool thing about orchids is that when you water them, the roots are freshly green, and as it starts to dry out, the roots turn like a whitish light green color. And you might think that your orchid's dead because it has these white roots, but it's not. Unless it looks like a dried up mushroom, it is probably doing okay. And once again, you do not want to overwater these. For the first week or so that I had this plant, I didn't know that it had about a couple inches of water at the bottom. So you always want to make sure that you are emptying out the bottom contents, or else your orchid will drown. As you can see already, the roots were just, to start with, they were white and crusty looking, and they are starting to turn green as the water gets into those roots. I'm sorry this is not the most aesthetic video. Just started my YouTube channel and I'm using my phone. A good telltale sign that your plants need watering is that the top inch or 2 inches of the soil is dry. It's not for every case of every plant like succulents, but for all my house plants that are not of the desert type, they normally just dry out when they're ready for more water. This guy doesn't really show me any signs that he needs to be watered, but I always know because his soil feels a little dry. I always make sure to not overwater this one because it does not have a hole in the bottom. So just try to do it so that the soil is thoroughly wet, but not overwater. Recently, this guy got some brown tips on him, I'm assuming because he was getting too much sun, like as you can see here. Let's see. This one has some brown tips. I'm not sure if you can see that. So I went in and I gave him a little haircut, and I moved him a little bit further away, and I make sure to turn him every once in a while so he's not getting too much direct sunlight. This is my Ivy girl. She has grown so much since I've gotten her. I actually just got her about 2 weeks ago, and her little things that are kind of flowing off this have doubled in size. Now, Ivy, they like to dry out a little bit more than other plants in between waterings, so this actually feels a little damp, And we're gonna skip watering for her. This is Pepperoni. She is a peperomia plant. I haven't seen too much growth out of her yet. I think she's just a baby girl. Yes, all my plants have names, and I talk to them, and they love it. And this is a tiny plant, so you really want to make sure you're not overwatering and drowning out the roots. That moisture will never dry back up if the soil's too compact. So just be careful when you're watering. And she started dripping through the bottom, so we know she's good to go. I also love to look at my Monstera every day and see all the new growth and make sure that it is healthy. She just got her first fertilization, which I was terrified about because all of the reviews I was reading for some fertilizers say that they just kill all the plants. So I did a lot of research. I found one that I liked, and this is my big healthy girl. Her name is Delicious. She just popped out 2 more fenestrated leaves, which I'm so happy about, and they're already nice and dark green. And I can tell that she's gonna have some new growth here shortly. If you can see, there's all of these new little spots coming up. And I like to use plant stakes for now for her because she's not super big. I'm not in a house where I really can allow this plant to get huge. So I will be investing in a moss pole eventually, but for now, this has worked really well. They were 97 cents, and they keep her arms from dangling outward and growing outward like a huge tree or bush. And it has just helped me on size where she is to kind of keep her a little bit more compact, and she seems really happy. Up next, we have my corn plant. This little boy has been going through it. A couple weeks ago, I noticed that it had some yellow spots, and I used this app I love called Picture This, and you upload a picture of your plant, and it will actually diagnose what's going on with it. I'm sorry, my dog's drinking water, and it's awful sound. So we ended up giving her a haircut, and I cut off any of the yellow spotting leaves because I read that it could be fungus. I am not 100% positive on that, but I felt confident in my decision, so I gave her a little haircut, and as you can see, she's kind of cut down in some of these spots, right down to the root, and the other spots, I basically, even the ones that had them on the ends, I just trimmed the ends, so hopefully this is going to be a better situation for her. All the lawn mowers are out today. This is my favorite part of every day. Plants help me find myself and help me find my way out of depression and anxiety. And I recently quit my full-time job as a hairstylist to be a full-time wedding stylist. And so I have lots of time on my hands, and these little babies have just, I don't know, they remind me of me. You know, I needed so much care, I needed so much tending to, and it makes me feel good every morning waking up and just getting into the plants. This is my pride and joy, my first plant ever. She's a pothos. She's nice and healthy, beautiful, and I thought she was just a normal pothos, but I think she may be a jade. I might be wrong on that, but she just started getting these beautiful, like, white spots on her, so I think she's a little bit more eccentric than just a regular pothos. I'm very new to being a plant mom, so I don't know the scientific names of all my babies. I'm learning, but thought YouTube was a great way to just share my love for plants and allow people to learn from me as I learn. So if you end up learning anything from this video, go me. And if not, hopefully it was aesthetically pleasing. All right, and I see that this girl just popped out a new leaf here. She's unfolding. This plant is so easy to care for, and if you don't have any yet, I really recommend getting a pothos. They are okay in mild sunlight, little sunlight, direct sunlight. You never want to have them too close to any direct, super strong sun without any filter in between. So like a sheer curtain or a door or even a screen. So this one sits right on my stair. She sits right there and she loves it. She gets quite a bit of direct sunlight, but indirect at the same time. So yeah, she's beautiful and healthy, and I can't wait for her to get super long and viney. And this is one of my newest plants, and it's actually sprouting a couple new leaves. So we've got, as you can see here, we've got this new leaf and this new leaf. And this is called a Aglaonema. I haven't named her yet. Maybe I'll name her Aloe, even though she's not an aloe. It's kind of funny. I love this plant. Oh, we got another new leaf too. When I got this, it was insanely moist and damp, and it doesn't say anything about watering that it needs to stay that way, but I kind of feel like I should just keep it up. So I kind of have been watering her. I let her dry out quite a bit before I watered her the first time, and it's been about a week, so I'm gonna give her just a little bit more to keep her damp. And these don't need watering yet, but just to show you a few of my other plants, this is my beautiful aloe. She has grown so much since I first got her. This little guy was super, super tiny when I first bought her, and this is a brand new leaf. I accidentally broke one of her leaves off, sad, RIP, but yes, I love her. And along with that, if you're looking for an amazing birthday party idea, this year for my 25th birthday, I had a make your own succulent birthday party, and it was the best time. So I ordered about 40 succulents off Amazon. They came in great condition, and I kept them alive for about 3 weeks before my birthday. I was terrified because I don't have much experience with succulents, and it was the greatest idea of my life. I ended up buying soil, rocks, and had everybody supply their own container. And we made our own terrariums, and it turned out so beautiful. Let me show you a little bit better. This thing has gained so much growth. It's got little flowers that are blooming out of this one, and this one's getting nice and tall. And there's just something awesome about creating a little home environment for things like this. Like, it's amazing to have succulents, but when you can create, like, this is art to me, and this is like a creation that I didn't even know existed. So I loved doing that. It was one of my favorite things. And last but not least, I have this little, I call him my wiener cactus. He's not doing too hot. This came from a house across the street who basically just completely stopped taking care of their plants. And so I repotted him, and I think that this is just not cutting it. He's not really up high enough, so I need to put more soil in here. But he seems to be doing okay. He just doesn't really like have any opinions about anything. He just kind of lives. So I prefer plants that kind of tell me what they want. And I forgot, I got some new plants yesterday. So these are my beautiful new succulents. They have babies. I threw out the little tag, so I'm actually not sure what they're called, but this one I know is a donkey tail, and this grows to look like a big old ponytail, and it sags over the side of the pot, and it is so beautiful. And the last one is this chubby guy. I think I'm gonna name him Chubbs because he's so chubby and cute. And I'm obsessed with them. So this is my real dive into the plant world this week. I decided, you know what makes me just a houseplant mom? Like, I want to try succulents. I want to try outdoor plants. So this week I actually built a garden in my front yard, and if you're gonna build a garden, plan it out, because that was just, oh my goodness. We try to do everything in one day, which I highly do not recommend. Plan it out, weed your garden, figure out what flowers you want, and just make sure you take it step by step. And also keep in mind that like different places that you're gonna buy things have a whole different price scale. So we chose Home Depot to get our rocks. We did a rock garden, and we chose planters for the plants. And holy cannoli, we spent about $400 in rocks alone. And it was just a fortune. It was a lot of work. And I wish I would have separated it out, but it is so rewarding that it's done and over with. And now I get to just enjoy my beautiful plants. So yes, all in all, when you get into new things, just start small, because that's not what I did. And I learned from it for sure. And one last thing I wanted to show you. I was going to make this a separate video, but I think I am going to make it a separate video. So never mind. We are done here for today for the plant care of my morning. I hope you enjoyed this. This channel means a lot to me, and I'm really excited to dive in and just learn everything there is to be about plants. I used to have a dream of owning a wedding venue, and it's completely changed when I dived into the plant world. I think that there's big things for me in this industry. Like, I truly love it. I didn't know I had a green thumb, but your girl does. She's been keeping all these babies alive, so it's a blessing, and I love it so much. And you have to see my baby. My only baby that's not a plant. This is Leo, and he loves our plants just as much. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.